The next advanced feature that this hairdryer is an example of is that of sculpt. And the indent shown highlighted here was created with the sculpt in using some features, an extrusion and a revolve feature to create this indent. We're going to learn how this was done, and we'll do the same thing on ours that we have going on here. So let's again drag our end part up so we can see how that was actually done. And we can see that there's a stripe path master that helped, and that's this line was used in here, and then also another sketch. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to, why don't we rename this as long as we're at it. This is our stripe path. There we are. And on this sketch, let's slice graphics. And let's draw that line which is used to create that extrusion. And that's going to be somewhere here. We want to make sure that the line is plenty long. And let's go somewhere here. Let's finish that sketch. And coming back to this sketch now, there's also another indent sketch. This indent sketch, there's our XY plane, and you can see that this sketch is placed up higher. Now there just so happens to be another work plane right here, indent work plane, and this indent work plane was placed 16 millimeters up off the one of the origin planes. So let's remember that, 16 millimeters. Let's come here, and that would be this plane, and we're going to click and drag, and that was 16 millimeters. Let's place a sketch now on this plane, and let's hide this sketch. Let's hit F7, look at it from the top, and the sketch that was used was a line fairly long, and then also a center line for this to revolve around. So let's do the same thing here. Let's create a line. We'll start somewhere out here. This is going to determine how deep we go in with this indent sketch. Let's draw another line. This will be a center line. We'll line it up with this somewhere out here. A construction line was added. I'm still in the sketch or line mode, and that was just to align those two. Let's see what that's going to look like. First thing we want to do then is let's create the revolve feature. We're going to create a surface. Our profile would be this, our axis of revolution would be this, and that gives us a surface revolution. You can see how deep it cuts in to that hairdryer. Next, on our example, is this indent termination. Use the line, as you can see. This was extruded 70.77 millimeters, and it has a minus 40-degree taper. Let's do the same thing over here, and we'll see why that was done. So let's extrude. We also want a surface. We want to use a distance. It was 70.77. And we want to also show a taper on that. The taper was a minus 40-degree taper. What's important about this is that this intersects the other surface. So you can see the area that we're going to sculpt away now. So it's important that we have that line drawn long enough, extruded far enough for that to happen. Now we can use sculpt, or we'll use this surface and this one, and we want to cut. And now you can see that what sculpt does is it will use a surface to cut away an area, but it must be bounded. So it must have a boundary in order for it to find the area for it to cut away. So that's why we wanted to make sure that this line and the line for the revolve feature were plenty long enough. Okay, so that gives us our little cut feature. And let's finish over here also. And then the next thing, you can see that they actually they mirrored this to the other side. And we can do the same thing. Let's take and mirror. We want to use the sculpt feature. The mirror plane will be the XY plane. And actually that's the mirror plane. There we are. XY plane, click OK. And that didn't quite work out as planned, I think. Yes, it did. However, you see what I did. I selected that plane as part of a mirror feature, so let's just do that again. Feature is this, mirror plane is this, click OK, and we're done.